In this installment, guys, I just gave you the do not draft. This one will be the must draft, guys, from rounds 1 through round 5. Let's get into it. Hey, yo! Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for your must draft list for your upcoming fantasy football drafts, going through round 1 all the way to round 5, giving you the best plays in each and every round. But before I deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetJetsD. Don't forget about the TikTok at Chef_D91. And also don't forget about the Patreon. If you need more DFS betting and fantasy football advice, all of those links will be provided down below. For round 1, the guy we're going to be keying in on will be Justin Jefferson, okay? I've been taking this home with Justin Jefferson in as many places as I can. In round 1, you want to get Justin Jefferson, someone that I think is going to be the wide receiver 1 and maybe even the total number 1 point scorer of 2022. And this is simply because we're getting a changing of guard, all right? Mike Zimmer and his run-first offense is going to be gone, and Kevin O'Connell and his pass-first offense from the Los Angeles Rams, yes, the Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams, who McVay trusted in Kevin O'Connell to run that offense and implement, is coming over and being implemented for the Minnesota Vikings, all right? The Minnesota Vikings hierarchy have gotten sick of running the ball first, and that mentality that is old. This is the new age, and you have a very talented Justin Jefferson as your number 1 wide receiver, and he's going to take over this year, all right? Let's just look at some numbers of the reason why I really love this move. Not only the fact that Kirk Cousins is a very good quarterback and been top 10 in touchdowns in the past couple years. Each and every year, he's there. But we give him this stigma because of big gameplay, but he's so reliable in good situations. He's so reliable in bad situations, which I showed you in previous videos. Let's look at the targets, all right? For the LA Rams, that 72%, that's the percentage of targets being thrown to the wide receiver position. 12% to the running back and 16% to tight ends, all right? That's the highest percentage target rate to wide receivers in all of the NFL. That's what's coming over to Minnesota. If you want to compare it to Minnesota's offensive last year, they throw 20% to the running back, 17% to the tight end, and only 63% to the wide receiver. So we're getting a 9% target rate boost for Justin Jefferson, KJ Osborne, and Adam Thielen, that core right there. And who you think those targets are going to go to? Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is playing the Cooper Kupp role in this Minnesota Vikings offense. That alone should set your brain to fire and like, yo, we have to, no matter what, we have to get Justin Jefferson in the first round. This man is a stone cold lock. I love him for this year, and you have to go get him. For round 2, the guy we need to be focusing on will be DeAndre Swift. Now, in that round 2, there's a couple guys in there that are in round 2 that should be in round 1, but are currently going at round 2, so you need to take advantage of them. One of them is Saquon Barkley, and the other one is DeAndre Swift. I know you're watching Hard Knocks, and you're seeing how they are instilling the fact that you can be a number 1 running back. I love the mentality that Deuce Staley is bringing over to that Detroit Lions offense, and especially in DeAndre Swift, really getting into his mental and improving him. All right, improve him. Yes, there's Jamal Williams behind him, but that's okay. That's okay. This is a supreme talent. This is the alpha in the offense. And yes, Jamal Williams is going to give him a breather here and there, but they love DeAndre Swift. There's only a few running backs that have Alvin Kamara upside. If we're looking at the stats, he has the rare ability of rushing and receiving all in one package. Was RB15 last year, had a little bit of an injury last year, but the reason why I love DeAndre Swift is because he's so elusive and so efficient. As you can see, number 5 in the league at yards created and number 1 in the league at yards created per touch. That means after he evades his first tackle, because he's so elusive, he is going to make you pay. He's averaging 4 yards after that first missed tackle. He's making you pay every chance you get when you get him in space, when you give him the ball up the middle. Andreswift is a super dynamic running back. And it's not only because the fact that people think that Detroit Lions, yes, they suck. No, this is a totally new offense. This is going to be a big surprise team. No longer will they just rack up points in the fourth quarter. They actually have the capabilities of providing drives, consistent drives this year. And we're going to get fantasy production from Andreswift and this Detroit Lions offense in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. They are a very talented team with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jared Goff is coming into another year under this offense. Andreswift, TJ Hockenson is back healthy. These are key components here that are very dangerous against opposing defenses. And Andreswift has big upside this year, especially in PPR leagues. He's someone you need to get in that round 2 range. Don't let him slip away. Next up for round 3, we got AJ Brown. When you come into that round 3 turn, this is someone you need to key in on. Wide receiver 32 last year in 2021. ADP right now currently 26.3 on Underdog. All right, fluctuates on different sites, but he's mainly going in that third round. Best comparable to Andre Johnson. So we got a solid veteran, elite, top tier wide receiver right here. Unfortunately, last year he had a little bit of the injury bug in 2021, but despite that, he still had a career high in air yards at 1,150, which is very impressive to see. We saw something similar to what we saw in 2019 in his rookie year, where he had 13.6 fantasy points in that one. So things are turning over now from the Tennessee Titans going over to the Philadelphia Eagles. I think things turn around. This is something similar to what we saw with Stephon Diggs leaving the Vikings, coming over to a rushing quarterback in Josh Allen and taking him to that next level. AJ Brown is something similar because the key component to these wide receivers giving elevation to their quarterback is their ability to get open. All right, route running is very key, and AJ Brown is elite at winning against man coverage. All right, number 4 in the league and number 2 last year. And the reason why Jalen Hurts struggled so much is because he had Devonta Smith as his number 1 wide receiver. And look at Devonta Smith's win rate versus man. Number 61 and number 38 target rate versus man. All right, these are 2 key components. All right, why do you think Jalen Hurts had to, wait and then tuck and run? Because there was no one open. They were depleted at that wide receiver position. Devonta Smith couldn't get open. Then after that, you had Jalen Reagor, who's a fail, and you had Quez Watkins, who's just a slot guy. So they really needed the acquisition of A.J. Brown, as we see right here. Let's look at it again. The win rate of A.J. Brown compared to the win rate of Devonta Smith. These are big changes. And now you have a 1-2 punch between A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. Not only do you have those 2 guys, they're going to help each other as well. Then you bring in the fact that you got Dallas Goedert. Now you got a 3-headed monster. Don't forget about their running backs. They got Miles Sanders. They got Kenneth Gainwell, who's dangerous in the passing game. The very dangerous offense. A.J. Brown is going to help them excel. And in the third round, he already has a connection with Jalen Hurts. They are best friends, best buddies here, and they're going to take it to a whole nother level. In the third round, go get you AJ Brown. In round 4, the next guy you need to key in on will be Allen Robinson. Yes, this man is going in that nice range, round 4, round 5 range, where you need to go get him. Round 4 is a perfect spot for him. Wide receiver 81 last year in 2021 with the Chicago Bears. Current ADP is 39.9, and it is rising. So, with Allen Robinson, last year, what happened? He was on the bad side. He was on the doghouse of Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy was a cancer to the Chicago Bears, and he really took out all the hatred on Allen Robinson, had him running short routes, not what Allen Robinson is usually capable of, as you can see in past seasons. This is a 1,000-yard guy, no problem, 2020 and 2019 and 2015. This is an alpha wide receiver, and he really struggled in 2021. And that wasn't all his fault. That was mainly Matt Nagy. Now we're having him switch over to the LA Rams and Matt Stafford. And despite the fact he had a poor year, he still had a solid win rate. So we know he's still good. Look at this win rate versus man, 42.2%, number 14 out of all wide receivers. All right, he was getting open. They just didn't throw him the ball. Obviously, Chicago Bears is a poor offense. Fields was just getting acclimated. There's a lot of problems there in Chicago, and Matt Nagy can't coach. So we have Allen Robinson, who was a win rate versus man of top 15 in the league. And now you add Matt Stafford here. Look at his passer rating versus man. Top number 1 in the league. Look at his accuracy versus man. 7.8. That's number 4 in the league. We add these things together and we have a dangerous combination with Allen Robinson, who's going to get open. Allen Robinson is going to get open against man because all the attention is going to be on Cooper Kupp. They got to contain him somehow, bracket coverage him somehow. Allen Robinson is roaming free, and we have this connection between Allen Robinson's win rate and Matthew Stafford's accuracy and passer rating. Things can be super explosive for Allen Robinson this year. This is someone you need to key in on in that 4th round. I love him at his current value, and he should continue to rise. Go get Allen Robinson in round 5. The guy we need to go get for your fantasy football drafts will be none other than DK Metcalf. Now, this man has slid so far in fantasy football drafts that the new price of Russell Wilson leaving and now Drew Lock most likely being the quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks offense, it's pretty much baked in, all right? Wide receiver 14 last year in 2021, and now you're getting him at an ADP of 56, and you're getting him at pretty much wide receiver 25 plus right now in fantasy football drafts. The question you have to ask yourself pretty much is, you're betting on talent over the situation. All right, we have the talent of DK Metcalf. If we look at his resume, elite talent. He already has 2 years of over 10 touchdowns, receiving touchdowns in the past 2 seasons. This is someone that has eclipsed 1,300 receiving yards. Yes, that is with a top tier quarterback in Russell Wilson, but DK Metcalf, his talent, his size and speed combination is like none other. You have to bet on talent when it comes to these specific situations, and I guys don't want you to miss out on something that can be super explosive and super definitely cash in on in your fantasy football drafts. When you're in this range, when you already secured solid positions in round 1, round 2, and round 3, it's time to take some stabs at an elite talent, and DK Metcalf is someone that can definitely take your team to a whole nother level. Here's an example. We already had a little sample size of games where DK Metcalf was without Russell Wilson, and this was Geno Smith. These games, as you can see, 22.3 fantasy points, 17.6 fantasy points, and 11.8 fantasy points. Combine those 3 games together, that is a 17.2 fantasy point per game average. If you want to compare that, you can compare that to the 2020 season where he finished number 10 wide receiver. All right, so you really have to take that aside. I get the quarterback situation, but Drew Lock is good enough to get the ball to a very talented wide receiver in DK Metcalf. And in round 5, we want someone with elite top tier talent and upside. DK Metcalf can be that guy. He's the alpha of that wide receiver group. I understand Tyler Lockett is a solid number 2, but DK Metcalf clearly has the measurables and everything else to put forth a top 10 wide receiver performance. So go get him in that round 5. Guys, thank you for tuning in to the video. That was my breakdown of round 1 through 5. Targets you need to get in your fantasy football drafts. Part 2 is coming very, very soon. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD, and I'll be back with another video very soon. All right, and also, if you're looking for some fades from round 6 to 10, go ahead and check that link down below.